Hey guys, thanks for popping on, joining us today. We're still talking today more about becoming an instructor with the Red Cross and what can you teach, right? So you go through your instructor course, you've done all the online portion, you've done the in-person 6-hour class, right? You're an instructor, you're ready to get started. What can you actually teach? So when you take your instructor course in first aid, CPR, and AED, what you have the ability to do and teach as an American Red Cross instructor is any combination or variation really of adult and or child or infant, first aid, CPR, AED, or just CPR and AED, or just first aid. You can literally mix and match any of the different types and combinations of courses available as an instructor, which means that you have the ability to do just an adult only class. Maybe you do adult and pediatric, which is infant and child. Maybe you do just pediatric because you're in a daycare center or something along those lines and you're only focused on, children and infants. So you can teach any age group content. You can also mix and match any type of content in terms of first aid, CPR, and or AED, right? So you can mix and match all of those things to whatever your audience is or whatever, you really need to teach in order to credential and certify an individual or a group, okay? With that, you also have the ability to begin teaching a few additional add-on, what we call skill boosts, right? The important thing about that is, you really shouldn't be teaching these skill boosts. Number one, you have to read the lesson plan entirely and any text that comes with it so you really understand the material. Number two, they require you to give skill testing. So you have to ensure that when you're doing these skill tests, you have the proper materials in order to teach these skill boosts. So a couple of these are head, neck, and spine, muscle, bone, and joint injuries. You have anaphylaxis, you have asthma, you have bloodborne pathogen, you have naloxone or Narcan, you have tourniquet application. So those are the skill boosts that we have with Red Cross. You're allowed to teach 4 of those 6 skill boosts once you get started. You can teach asthma, inhaler, quick relief inhaler. You can teach anaphylaxis, you can teach naloxone or Narcan, and you can teach bloodborne pathogens. What you cannot teach is tourniquet application, and you cannot teach head, neck, and spine, muscle, bone, and joint injury. You need to have an advanced level of training in order to teach those 2 things as a skill boost, right? So in other words, that takes and requires you to do additional training before you can actually teach those 2 things. So you do have those 4 skill boosts that come with the instructor course for first aid, CPR, and AED. You can teach any, again, combination of those things, as well as those 4 skill boosts that we just outlined for you. And you can really begin starting that as soon as you get yourself aligned, in which we have another video out there on how to align yourself and the options that you have. The other thing is you also have bridge courses. There's going to be another video that we're going to put out here shortly on how to bridge yourself into another type of content area. So stay tuned for that, and feel free as always to reach out if you have any questions. Thanks for joining us today.